Hello, Angie Gerber here, and welcome to my podcast, Awareness. Once you know, you can't unknow. A place you can come to start thinking and shifting your thoughts to finally create the results you truly, truly desire. It'll shift your mindset and give you strategies to get out there and get it done. Let's get started. Hello. Today I want to go over some information that I actually just heard from my coach. I purposely waited until after the Q&A call I had with my coach, Araj Vasuki, on a group coaching that I'm going through for world-class coach. And I knew it was going to be amazing, and of course it was. So I wanted to get on here and share it with you all. First and foremost, there is a quote that continues to come up and has since Bob Proctor was my first mentor I hired and coached way back in 2017. And it continues to come up, and it will always continue to come up. So I want to state it here and kind of dissect it a little bit and go through it and really dive in and get a deeper understanding for you than you may already have on this. So it's a quote by Andrew Carnegie, which again, if you don't know who Andrew Carnegie was, look him up. But he was the wealthiest man in the early 1900s. He is the one that commissioned Napoleon Hill to go out and interview 500 of the wealthiest, successful people back then. And that's where Think and Grow Rich came out of, was the 13 disciplines, or I guess findings that he found, discipline being one of the chapters in Think and Grow Rich, but what he found after interviewing those 500 people. So Carnegie, I mean, even if you just look him up and Google him, he has so many different quotes. But the one that I wanted to share has to do with thinking. And what he says is any idea that is held in the mind, that is emphasized, that is either feared or revered, will begin at once to clothe itself in the most convenient and appropriate form available. So write that down. Google this. Get it on a Post-it note. Get it in front of you. Because what this is saying is any idea, meaning that there's energy always flowing to and through us. And when that energy comes in to our conscious mind, that is where we have the ability to accept or reject it. So any idea that we hold, meaning that we accept in our conscious mind, and we hold there, and we emphasize it. So we hold it there, and it becomes our thought. Whether it is feared or revered, which means pretty much whether you want it or not. So are you focusing on negativity, on what you don't want, on the debt, on the current results, on maybe catastrophizing what could happen in the future? Oh, this could happen, that could happen. All the stories we make up in our heads and the things we tell ourselves that is not even true or reality. Are we fearing them and thinking them into existence? Or are you going to the revered side of things? Celebrating stuff that you do want, the amazingness, the joy, and focusing your mind on what you do want and what's revered and celebrated. Any idea that is held in the mind that is emphasized, that's either feared or revered, will begin at once to clothe itself in the most convenient and appropriate form available, meaning what you are holding in your mind and focusing on, what you focus on expands, will begin at once to clothe itself. That means it will come to existence. It will come from your mind into your physical world in the most convenient and appropriate form available. So if you're focusing on lack, focusing on what you don't want, it will clothe itself and it will become reality. Versus, are you focused on what you do want? Because these are thoughts and this is energy, and it takes no more energy from you to think of prosperity versus poverty. They both come into existence, just depending on what you're thinking and what you're holding in your mind. Are you focused on abundance or are you focused on scarcity? Are you telling yourself every day as some of your affirmations, I expect to win. Everything I touch turns to gold. I am 100% responsible for how I show up today, and I'm going to serve at the highest level possible. You see, we have an attitude towards everything. You have an attitude as you're listening to this podcast. You have an attitude as you're driving your car. You have an attitude with conversations you have, with what you're watching, with what you're listening to. All of it, everything we do, we have an attitude towards. Every thought that comes into our mind, the energy that comes in, we have an attitude towards. So you get to accept or reject it. And that's, nope, not thinking of that today. Nope, not going there today. And only accepting what you revere and what you want to clothe itself in the most convenient and appropriate form available. Do you trust yourself? Are you overthinking everything and stopping the process and the energy in its tracks? You do have to let go. We just fall victim so often to our five senses and letting them control how we feel, because we get to accept or reject this. The standard, what is your standard in this? How are you showing up? Are you doing the sprints that my coach taught me, that I taught you? 30, 60, 90-minute sprints. Are you deciding the night before what your day is going to look like and then waking up ready to go and jump out of bed and get after it? Knowing what you're going to do. And as all those paradigms and those reasons why you shouldn't, or you should hit the snooze, or I could do it tomorrow, or this, that, and the other thing, no, I expect to win today. Everything I touch turns to gold. I am 100% responsible for my actions. Are you showing up to serve? Are you asking every morning, who can I serve today? How can I show up better? What's one thing I can do today to leave the impression of increase on someone else who will never be able to repay me? Just putting it out there in the universe. Auto-suggestion came up again. I asked a question. Auto-suggestion, auto-suggest, auto-suggest, auto-suggest. And that's where you give yourself a command. You say your goal out loud. Are you setting the alarm? Are you saying your goal out loud and connecting to it an hour after you've achieved it? Are you in the spirit of it? Ask yourself, what can I do today, knowing that today's all I have? Let go of yesterday, and if the results weren't what you wanted or you didn't show up at your best, let it go and focus on today, because today in this moment is all you have. So don't get anxious thinking about the future and what may or may not be. Don't get depressed about the past and it not being what you want it to be. Focus today and focus on what you have right now. Reach out to more people. Make content. Make better content. Look yourself in the mirror and have a conversation with yourself. Do your sales presentation in the mirror. Really balance. And if you balance throughout the day, You'll gain more and you'll trust yourself more. And really, when you're auto-suggesting, you have to go at it like I know that this is done. It is here and it is done. And now I just have to connect to it through raising my vibration to the frequency that my goal's on. Really start using your power for you, not against you. I'll say it again. Any idea that is held in the mind, that is emphasized, that is either feared or revered, will begin at once to clothe itself in the most convenient and appropriate form available. So start today. If you didn't plan your week on Sunday evening, what your week's going to look like, start today. Start tonight. Do your wins journal. What were your wins for the day before you go to bed? And then do where you could have shown up in a different light. You fell short. And focus on that tomorrow. And plan your day tomorrow, tonight. Make the decision and now do the disciplines. Lock into your daily goal. If you have that big C goal, make a daily goal and lock into it. And really show up with no attachment. Don't be attached to it because it's already done. So what you get to do is you get to show up and take action. You get to show up and be present. You get to show up and come from service, not worrying about how your goal is going to happen. What you want to do is you want to show up and get to work. Take action. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now. Are you in a leadership position like we talked about last week? What is your standard? If you're leading yourself or you're leading a group of others, it's your job as a leader to protect the culture of your group, of who you're leading. And if you're leading yourself, what is your standard? And are you making decisions from that place, from that person, or are you constantly dropping your standard? Because if you're constantly dropping your standard, you will not get from where you are to where you want to be. Things have got to change. You have got to change. If you are going to get from where you are to that big goal that's so worthy of you, you just get to become who you need to become along the journey to get there. And that's the whole thing about getting the goal. It's not actually the goal. It's who you become in the process. And everything comes from service. How can you show up and serve in a different way? What are your highest income producing activities? Get those done first. Are the hardest thing done first. No excuses. You can have excuses or you can have results. You can't have both. All the responsibility is 100% on you. So coach yourself honestly and look at yourself and start doing these exercises. Start doing your wins journal. Start doing where you can show up better. Lock in on one thing. If you have 5 to 10 plus things that you're working on, that's too many, and you're going to be in chaos, and your mind's going to be chaotic. So really lock it down. Make a list. What Araj said today to someone that was on the call, she had like 10 things she listed that she was doing. He said, chunk it down to 5 of the most important, and of those 5, prioritize them 1 to 5 and start with 1. And even if you have to be working on more than one at a time, then do the sprints that we talked about, where you take 30, 60, 90 minutes and you only focus on that one thing. Put your phone on airplane mode. Shut all other social media, email, all the other distractions down. Put a do not disturb sign on your office door. Let your family know. Like, I am doing a sprint. This is what I need. Because the truth is that we teach people how to treat us. You can teach the people around you how to treat you when you are showing up for yourself and for your business and to grow. It's up to you. What are you going to do? How do you want to show up? Activity is going to be what gets you to your goal. And getting out of your own way and out of your head will also get you to your goal. Focus on abundance and prosperity versus scarcity. And when those moments come, and they will throughout the day, over and over and over again, just reject them instead of accepting them. And you can say it out loud, not today, not right now. I'm going to go here. I'm going to think this. Nope, cancel, stop, whatever you need to say. Maybe it's the rubber band on the wrist where you snap it. Find something, but start taking control of your thoughts. Because if you don't control them, they will control you, and nothing changes if nothing changes. So, thanks for joining me, and let me know if you have any questions on this one. It was a great call, and I had to share some of the beautiful golden nuggets that came out of it. So, have a good one. Thanks for spending some time with me today. And if you like what you heard, feel free to share, like, subscribe, follow, do whatever it is you do. I'd love to get this out to as many people as possible, because it truly all does start with awareness. Once you know, you cannot unknow, and it changes everything. And of course, if I can help in any way, I'm here and happy to do so. Until next time, make it a good one.